I was working as the sales manager at my husband's company. One day, I was shocked by what my husband, whom I'll call Dave, said when he came home. "I got a 29-year-old beautiful employee pregnant. Please, let's get a divorce." I was stunned. Overwhelmed by the suddenness, I couldn't organize my thoughts. Later, I told Dave that I wanted to discuss this with the three of us and then lay down on the bed in the bedroom. The woman, Emily, was pregnant. The cause of infertility was me. Even though I thought I had fallen out of love with Dave, tears uncontrollably flowed. The next day, I overheard a conversation between Dave and Emily. "Why didn't you leave her, a woman who can't bear an heir? She's good at her job. I have no reason to fire her. So why not keep her around? Once the baby is born, we can have her take care of it." "Great idea, Emily. You're smart. She's older, so she probably knows a lot about childcare." I clenched my fists at their laughter. How dare they? They won't be laughing for long. I'll make sure they regret ever making a fool of me. I'm Monica, a 44-year-old housewife. 10 years ago, I reconnected with Dave, a childhood friend, at a college reunion. Dave was the only son of a well-known local company. He lost his father when he was young and now his stepmother is the company chairwoman. In college, I attended the same lectures as Dave but never got close due to the difference in our backgrounds and his always lively surroundings. However, upon reconnecting, I found him to be down-to-earth, approachable, and cheerful, without any airs of wealth. After a dinner together, Dave asked me out, and eventually, he proposed. My family was just a typical middle-class household. I was nervous that his mother might object to me as not suitable, but when we visited his parents, they readily accepted me. My education in accounting, finance, and business management, along with my qualifications, seemed to impress them. After our engagement, I joined Dave's company and am now managing sales and administrative tasks as the sales manager. Having grown up watching my parents' loving relationship, I always dreamed of a happy marriage. I never doubted that I could build a warm home with someone I loved. So, it was unimaginable that my happiness would crumble just 10 years into marriage. Initially, Dave was very kind to me. He had a wide social circle, both professionally and personally, so almost every weekend was booked with plans. While Dave's friends were also his, they were strangers to me. But instead of leaving me out, he took me along to barbecues, camping, skiing, and introduced me to his friends, including men, women, couples, and married folks. I, having no friends of the opposite sex, felt uneasy about his female friends, but Dave interacted with them respectfully. Neither the women nor Dave showed any inappropriate behavior, which relieved me. Both Emily and Dave showed no signs of inappropriate behavior, which eased my worries. Dave interacted with everyone, singles, married people, men, and women, without distinction, and in a friendly manner. I, being extremely shy, admired Dave for this quality. However, over the years, Dave's attitude towards me grew colder. He would frown upon seeing me, sigh, or look disapprovingly at the cosmetics in our bathroom. "Dave, our anniversary is coming up, right? I'm going to make a reservation at our usual restaurant," I said, trying to initiate a conversation. But his response was grumpy. "I'm busy with work. Can't you see? I don't have time for a restaurant." "What? But you always made time for it, no matter how busy you were." Dave sighed deeply, sounding exasperated. "If you want to go so badly, go by yourself. How long are you gonna keep up this newlywed act?" His harsh words left me feeling downcast. He must be tired and irritable, I thought. So, I sent him his favorite brand of tie for his birthday, but even that didn't please him. "Monica, you have no taste. I'm tired of this brand. Why increase the clutter in the dresser?" "I'm sorry." I had researched online and even visited the store to carefully choose it, but his response was so dismissive. I couldn't recall doing anything in particular to anger him. Despite saying he was busy, he regularly went out with his friends. Was it that he didn't want to go out with me? The thought crossed my mind. And then, something definitive happened. He invited me to the mall, so I got ready enthusiastically. I wore a new dress, made my makeup more glamorous for the private occasion, and waited excitedly for Dave to finish getting ready. However, once he was ready, he looked at me and smirked. "What's with that outfit? Wearing a skirt at your age? Is it not okay? Aren't you aware of your age? You're a proper middle-aged woman, right?" The makeup is too flashy, and your hair is styled, it's embarrassing. You used to be cute, but it's different now. His disdainful tone pierced my heart. But your friends dress up, right? They can because they're beautiful. You're different. You're just an old lady trying to look young, and it's painful to see. I'm not trying to look young or anything, I replied, but Dave just clicked his tongue. Dress more normally. Are you trying to embarrass me? Ah, forget it. I've lost my mood to go. You ruined it after I went through the trouble of inviting you. Annoyed, he threw his jacket on the sofa and retreated upstairs to his study. Lunch today is shrimp fried rice. I want to eat in 30 minutes, so get it ready. His voice came from upstairs. I had just dressed up a bit for a rare outing. But somehow I upset Dave. I bit my lip to hold back tears, changed into my room clothes, removed my makeup, and began preparing lunch. If I think about it, Dave is the same age as me. If I'm an old lady, then he's an old man. I'm not a beauty, and Dave is just an average middle-aged man. Raised to be the next president of the company, he's full of pride and overconfidence. His assertiveness seemed attractive before we were married, but I never expected to be looked down upon like this. Sometimes I almost speak my mind. But since we work together, I see him at the office too. If we're awkward, it affects the employees. So, I end up giving in and trying to please Dave. At home, he's a typical domineering husband, but outside, he's friendly and leaves a good impression on everyone he meets. He's the stereotypical second-generation wealthy heir, with zero business acumen but a charming smile and friendliness that endears him to clients and business partners. But at home, his grumpiness is like that of a different person. I'm the president, you know? How can I eat such cheap food? Ramen noodles would be better. He would always complain if the menu wasn't to his liking, slurping his instant noodles next to me. Also, when Dave is home, he seems displeased if I have plans to go out. You don't even take care of your husband and just wander around. Are you even a housewife? I'm just going to buy clothes. Lunch is ready in the microwave, and I'll be back before dinner. You should be the one serving the meals. You're a housewife, aren't you? Living off the money I earn, you sure are living comfortably. Of course, I earn less than Dave as the company president, but I also work full-time and receive a decent salary. I contribute to our living expenses, so I shouldn't be subject to such complaints. When Dave initially took over the company from his mother, his inexperience caused troubles with business partners. It was me who went around apologizing at that time. You used to be cute 10 years ago, but now you look like a worn-out rag. Now, he criticizes my appearance every chance he gets. You're a failure as a wife since you couldn't bear an heir. I'm being merciful by not divorcing you. Be grateful. I wanted kids too, but it's not something we can control. How about we get more tests done at the hospital? We might still have a chance. But Dave just shook his head. I don't want to spend extra money. It must be your fault anyway. I forgive you only because you're competent at your job. When I felt irritated, I would meet my best friend, Sarah, and vent to her. She knew Dave from our college days and always sympathized with me. Dave puts on a good face outside, so he takes out his frustrations on you at home. Such a hopeless guy, Sarah said, frowning. He used to come crying to me about what to do. Does he think he made the company big all by himself? Maybe he's forgotten his beginnings. I muttered. I worked hard too, with the support of his mother and other executives. Thank you, Sarah. Talking to you always clears my mind. As I thanked her, Sarah responded with a bright smile. I'm always on your side, Monica. If anything happens, just tell me. I'll be there for you. Her strong words always lightened my heart. Recently, Dave's behavior has been visibly strange. He's always out on weekends, claiming it's for socializing. Even on weekdays, he doesn't return home until after midnight. Yet, he never looks tired, always appearing happy. One evening, after finishing my chores, I was reading in the living room. Dave had left in the morning without mentioning his destination. Likely to return late at night. But unusually, he came home just past 8 p.m. Entering the living room, his cheeks were flushed, and he looked unable to contain his happiness. Welcome home, you're back early. Monica, rejoice! What? Why? I'm going to be a father. I blinked in disbelief. What? I got a 29-year-old beautiful employee pregnant. Please, let's get a divorce. I stared at Dave, taken aback by his words. The suddenness of it all left me unable to process my thoughts. I'm finally going to be a dad. There'll be an heir at last. Mom will be so happy. Wait, you've been cheating? Without any shame, Dave replied. Do you know Emily Johnson from accounting? Yes, she's quite beautiful. Right. She's beautiful, has a great figure, and she's still in her 20s. Plus, she's good at her job. Young women are definitely the best. Although I knew Emily was beautiful, it was the first time I heard she was good at her job. So, you're useless to me now. Let's get a divorce, he said bluntly. I felt indignant. Over the last 10 years, my dissatisfaction with Dave had accumulated, and I had no attachment to our marriage. But I wasn't naive enough to simply say, okay, I understand, and agree immediately. If he had been cheating all this time, I deserved a substantial alimony from both of them. Being suddenly asked like this puts me in a difficult position. Can you invite Emily over later? Let's have a three-way discussion. Dave responded enthusiastically. Got it, I'll tell her. Watching his cheerful stride as he went to take a shower, I closed my book. I went upstairs to the bedroom and lay down on my bed, feeling a sense of emptiness. I was more devastated by the fact that he had a child on the way than by his infidelity. Dave had always wanted an heir. Of course, just because he wanted it didn't guarantee a boy would be born. But more importantly, I hadn't been able to get pregnant. If Emily was pregnant, it meant the issue was with me. I wondered if I had a baby, would I be happily parenting with Dave now? Even though I thought I had lost all love for Dave, I couldn't stop the tears from flowing. The next day, I went to work early with swollen eyes. I made myself a coffee to wake up. As I was about to leave my office, I overheard Dave and Emily's conversation through the door. Was she shocked? Yeah, she was stunned. It's hilarious that she didn't notice the affair. It's been going on for 2 years. Emily chuckled. Dave, why didn't you dump her sooner since she can't have kids? She's useful like a housekeeper, plus she's good at her job. If we divorced, it would be awkward and she'd probably quit. Then keep her around for now? We can always dump her later. Once the baby's born, we can make her take care of it, saying it's the president's child. Dave seemed impressed with the idea. Emily, you're so smart. She's older, so she must have knowledge. If we say it's for the baby's sake, she'll probably listen. Hearing their laughter, I clenched my fists. They could laugh and scheme all they wanted for now. I would make them deeply regret ever mocking me. After making necessary preparations, I informed Dave 2 weeks later to invite Emily to our house. On the day she arrived, Emily entered as if visiting a friend's house. Sorry for intruding. Wow, Dave's house is really lovely. I've always wanted to come here. Her eyes sparkled with excitement. Dave arrogantly said, You could have asked sooner. I even had her cook dinner for us. Ignoring my frowning face, Emily looked around the room curiously, walking around freely. The kitchen is spacious and stylish, quite a contrast to my one-bedroom apartment. Your place is cute too, like a young girl's home. Really? Dave, can I see the other rooms? Dave agreed with a grin and led the way. This is the living room. Next to it is the sunroom. A sunroom? I want one too. Oh? There aren't many houseplants. Is this Monica's preference? Emily criticized the space with 2 indoor hammocks and a glass table. I wondered what kind of nerve she had to criticize the interior of someone's house when she was supposed to apologize for the affair. But then again, a sane person wouldn't propose raising their child with the wife of their lover. Oh, no way. Monica, unlike you, kills plants immediately. She's probably hated by them, Dave said. That's sad for Monica, Emily laughed. Annoyed by their laughter, I said bluntly. We're here to talk, right? Let's sit down at the table and get to it. I waited for Dave and Emily to sit on the sofa across the table and started the conversation. I want to confirm again. Emily, you're pregnant with Dave's child, right? They both nodded. Monica, I'm sorry. But this is fate. Emily's eyes welled up with tears as she clasped her hands together in a pleading gesture, looking at me. Her overly familiar way of addressing me irked me. I'm having a baby. Dave and I were meant to be together since our past lives. It was a mistake for him to meet and marry you, Monica. We need to correct this mistake and start over. It would make both Monica and Dave unhappy. I love both of you too much to let that happen." Hearing her absurd logic, I could only offer a thin smile. Her self-justifications were so outrageous that they left me more astonished than angry. "I truly love Dave. Please let me have his child," Emily pleaded in a saccharine voice, while Dave sniffled, seemingly moved to tears. "I love you, Emily. It would be unfair for our child, the heir to Smith Industries, to grow up without a father. We need to raise him together." Dave and Emily, sitting close and earnestly appealing, only made me feel more disenchanted. Any lingering affection I had for Dave had completely vanished. I had no desire to continue as his wife. "Fine, but I'm quitting my job." "Wait, keep working." Dave frowned. "You'll struggle to find a job at your age. Considering your contributions, we can keep you at the company." "Really? I have qualifications in management. I'm sure I'll find something." "Dave's so kind. He's saying you can stay at our company, Monica." "I don't mind at all." Glancing at her, I sighed. "That's not possible. Because of that woman." I paused for a moment before dropping the bombshell. "She's been embezzling company funds." "What?" Emily's eyes widened for a moment before awkwardly shifting her gaze to the floor. "What did you just say?" Dave showed intense agitation. I kindly explained. "This woman has been embezzling money meant for entertainment and business travel expenses." She filled in blank receipts with her own amounts. I spoke matter-of-factly to a pale-faced Dave. "It's been going on for 2 years, and no one noticed except me. It only came to light after I interviewed the relevant parties recently." I sighed. Even for a family business, such laxity is unacceptable. I'm thinking of quitting. The thought of seeing your faces after the divorce is nauseating. So, I'm going to find another job. "Stop making weird accusations," Emily protested, her face contorted. "Where's your evidence?" "The chief accountant, fooled by you, confessed everything to the executive director. Want to see the video?" As I reached for my phone, Emily covered her face with her hands and started crying loudly. "I'm sorry. My father's company went bankrupt, my mother collapsed from shock and got a terminal illness. My brothers rebelled against our parents, made debts, and disappeared. My salary alone wasn't enough, so I did it." Emily sobbed intensely, as if she had prepared eye drops beforehand. Dave was completely fooled, hugging her shoulder, sympathetically consoling her. "That's tough. You should have told me. I didn't want to trouble you, Dave. I used all the money to pay off debts, I can't repay it." Dave seemed to believe her blatant lies. She probably squandered the money herself. "Don't say that, we're not strangers. Don't cry too much, it'll affect the baby." "How much is it?" $40,000. I expect it all back. Depending on your attitude, I could press charges for embezzlement. Let the company cover that. Who knows about this? All the executives. I'll silence them. Emily, don't do it again, okay? Yes, I won't. Thank you. I was disgusted at Dave petting Emily's head. Such leniency from a CEO was unbelievable. It felt like watching a poorly acted couple from an outdated romance drama, making my stomach churn. I suppressed my nausea and proceeded as planned. "So, Emily working part-time at a hostess club was also to help your family?" Dave showed a brief moment of disturbance at my words, but quickly pretended it was nothing. "Our company doesn't forbid part-time jobs, but I wish you had reported it." "I'm sorry," Emily replied, her face tense. I didn't miss her reaction. Smiling, I laid out some photographs I had obtained on the living room table. "I'm not sure about this. It might affect the baby, but if it's your choice, Emily." Her expression changed instantly as she snatched the photos. "What's this?" "Pictures of you with clients. I thought Dave might not want to see them." As Emily forced a smile, I placed different photos in front of Dave. He gasped. The photos showed Emily arm in arm with various men, looking happy as they entered hotels. Emily frantically gathered the photos showing her in intimate relationships with multiple men, but it seemed to be too late. Desperately, she tried to explain to a speechless Dave. "It's not what you think. I felt sick during out-of-club dates and just went into rest. I haven't done anything wrong, please believe me, Dave. She pleaded with sparkling eyes, but even Dave looked shocked. Is that true? You don't believe me. That's awful. You're the only one for me, Dave. Clinging to his arm, she made a passionate appeal, but even Dave seemed bitter. Sighing, I stood up and brought my personal laptop from the bedroom, inserting a USB from the private investigator, playing the incriminating audio. As the scandalous voices filled the room, Dave held his head in distress. Stop it! The walls of hotels are surprisingly thin. It seems easy to record through them. Is it the technology or the equipment that's impressive? As I stood up, Emily approached me with a furious expression. How shameless! Are you going this far just to break us up? Don't you care about Dave's feelings? Doesn't it bother you to hurt him? I'm just revealing the truth. You're the one who hurt Dave, right? And are you really pregnant? Or do you just want to be the CEO's wife? It's different. My belly will start showing soon. It's definitely Dave's child. With all those men, who knows whose child it is? It's a mother's intuition. Intuition, huh? It was almost laughable how brazen she was. Emily confronted me, shouting back. Those guys were just flings. I truly love only Dave. Sorry, but I can't understand your perspective, Emily. I shrugged in resignation and turned to Dave. What about you, Dave? Would you raise the child as your heir even if it doesn't resemble you? That's... Surprised by his hesitation, I added sarcastically. So, any boy will do, even if he's not your blood? Just like a cuckoo. What? My child isn't a stranger. And don't you talk, you're not even pregnant. Emily exploded in anger. You've always been so arrogant despite being unattractive. I've hated you since I joined the company. You act all high and mighty just because you're good at your job. She ranted furiously at me. Stop flirting with male employees. Stop using your charms on bosses. You're always so annoying. As I listened silently, Emily became more emboldened and crass. You're just jealous because I'm prettier, right? You thought marrying the CEO made you a winner, but too bad. Emily laughed shrilly. Hey, that's enough. Dave interjected, dismayed by her vulgarity. He tried to calm her, but the heated Emily kept hurling insults. Useless at bearing children, not even pretty, you'd have been divorced long ago in the past. But you're lucky Dave is kind. He pitied you and kept you around, even though you're defective. But that's over now. Give me the CEO's wife position, and go back to being single, old lady. Tired of responding, I let Emily's tirade wash over me until the living room door opened. The person who appeared turned Dave pale. Mom? The chairwoman? Perfect timing. Emily said, her face lighting up as she stood. Nice to meet you, Kate. I'm Emily Johnson from the accounting department. I'm pregnant with Dave's child. It's definitely a boy. I'm carrying the heir, so Dave and I are getting married. Dave's mother looked exasperated, holding her temple. Sighing deeply, she spoke in a low voice. Dave, can you silence this frivolous woman for a moment? Emily was stunned by the scathing remark. The mother-in-law glared at Emily as if she were trash and sharply scolded Dave. The only person who can call me Kate is Monica. Dave, it's because you're so oblivious that you attract such nonsense. Emily was puzzled but forced a smile. Kate, in my womb is Dave's child. I'm certain it's a boy. I'll replace the incapable Monica and give birth to a worthy successor. A child is essential for the future of the company, right? However, the mother-in-law twisted her face in disgust and spat out. I don't care if it's a boy or a girl. Wanting to be the CEO's wife? Are you sane? To embezzle company funds and then say such things. But, Mom, Emily has complicated family circumstances. Can't we overlook this just once? Dave pleaded. The mother-in-law replied with a half-smile. You're such a foolish boy. Did you really believe her story? Dave's face fell as he looked at the documents his mother slammed on the table. Kate, you also had Emily's background checked by an investigator, huh? I see. Glancing at the papers, I chuckled. Her parents work for a major corporation, and her brother is studying abroad. Her family is wealthier than mine. So, the embezzled money was for her own use. Dave looked incredulously at Emily. There are photos of you shopping extensively at brand stores. Your debts are due to credit card payments, right? The mother-in-law sneered. Also, the gynecologist Emily visits is an acquaintance of mine. After explaining the situation, they told me she's not pregnant. Excuse me? She's been visiting for irregular periods, right? Emily turned bright red at the mother-in-law's sly smile. Don't go spreading personal information like that, old hag. All right. Anyway, prepare yourself because we're suing you for embezzlement. Sarah, please handle the procedures. Understood, Chairwoman. I smiled at Sarah, who appeared behind the chairwoman. Yes, my close friend Sarah was the company's legal consultant. When Emily's embezzlement came to light, I informed the mother-in-law and immediately consulted Sarah. We had been timing the pursuit of the issue when Dave suddenly demanded a divorce from me. I'm sorry for lying about being pregnant. But it's true, I really do love Dave. Please believe me. Emily pleaded with teary eyes, softening Dave's expression. That's right, Dave. You're being dismissed as CEO for your responsibility in the affair. Dave and Emily gasped in shock. Come on, it's just an affair. You had an affair with a woman who embezzled funds. It's only natural. Not a single executive supports you. No way. Dave murmured, his head in his hands, trembling. Dave was well liked by our clients and other company presidents because of his people's skills. That's why we kept him around. The mother-in-law continued sternly. But a son who disregards a wife who contributed to the company and chases after an empty-headed young woman is useless to us. Wait, you're firing me? Please, no. I was deceived by Emily. Dave's voice was almost tearful. Mom, I was wrong. It was just a moment of folly. I'll break up with Emily, so please keep me at the company. It's impossible to find another job at my age. Dave's pathetic plea and his clinging to his mother seemed to turn Emily off. What? You were so in love with me, and now you turn your back just because your mother says so? You're the worst. Emily's eyes narrowed in anger. I only cozied up to you because you were the president. If you were a greasy middle-aged man 15 years my senior and a regular employee, I wouldn't have given you a second glance. What? You said you fell for me even without my title, you lying woman. How naive to believe that. That's why you got tricked by me. Emily's words made the mother-in-law shake her head in exasperation. You're both as bad as each other. In that sense, you're a perfect match. At that moment, the doorbell rang. Checking the monitor, we saw police officers standing outside. They had arrived in a patrol car, considerate of the neighbors, without using the siren. Seemingly not expecting to be actually arrested, Emily was visibly shaken. She even tried to charm the police officer when he entered the room. Officer, please listen. I was tricked by the head of accounting. We'll discuss this at the station. Please come with us. Dismissively ignored by the officer, Emily clicked her tongue and was escorted out in the patrol car. Dave stood dazed at the doorway, watching as Emily was taken away in the patrol car. He then stumbled back to the sofa, his shoulders slumping in defeat. Later that day, it appeared that the complicit head of accounting was also arrested. However, since both were first-time offenders, they were soon released. Having spent all the embezzled money, Emily had no savings left. To repay the embezzled amount and my compensation, she had to take out loans. Naturally, she was fired from the company, so she started working multiple part-time jobs, including her previous job at the Hostess Club. Working tirelessly day and night. She could no longer maintain her appearance. And when I saw her in town recently, she looked gaunt and worn out, a shadow of her former beauty. As for Dave, after our divorce, his mother's mercy saved him from being fired. He was transferred to a regional branch. The details of his dismissal as president spread among the employees, and he was viewed with contempt, making his work life unbearable. His mother had disowned him, and his savings were depleted by paying me compensation. Dave even reached out to me, seeking reconciliation. Monica, I was wrong. Let's start over. I promise no more cheating. You won't abandon your ex-husband in need, right? Why don't you ask one of those young girls you adore for financial support? You still have a job, even if it's a lower salary. Just work hard. I cut him off over the phone and eventually blocked his contact. From what I heard from his mother, his once bright personality was nowhere to be found. He hardly spoke to anyone, focusing solely on his work, and spent his weekends locked in his room. In Dave's place, his cousin, who had been the vice president, became the new president. I was recognized for my contributions and promoted to a board member position. The new president, though not a great conversationalist, was sincere and well-liked by the staff. My work has become busier than ever, but I feel fulfilled every day. Although Dave and I are divorced, I sometimes have meals with his mother. Despite her position as the company chairwoman, she never pressured me to take over. This experience deepened my respect for her character. My ties with Dave have been severed, but I look forward to maintaining a mentor-mentee relationship with his mother as a senior figure in my life.